Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Flower Cardian deck profile for November 2016. Thought I'd bring you guys the update with the release of Invasion Vengeance. We actually got 6 new cards in the pack for this deck, which is really good because it helps with a lot of consistency plays with summoning your monsters. So I thought, let's go ahead and get started. Actually 7 if you include the Synchro Monster. But anyway, let's go ahead and begin. Still run 3 Flower Cardian Pine. He's probably the most important of your Flower Cardian monsters because with the Cardian monsters, you sort of go in a low to high summoning method. So you always want to start off with the level 1. And its effect is when it's normal summoned, you draw a card, show it, send it to the graveyard unless it's a Flower Cardian monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. And if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if its card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. So he's your draw power, and a lot of the Cardian monsters rely on having a monster that's lower level than it on the field to special summon it. So having a level 1 on the field sets up that play so well, and with a draw power ability with this card, with destruction and summoning it, you can't go wrong. I also run 2 Pine with Crane. This effect is cannot be normal summoned, must first be special summoned by tributing a level 1 Cardian monster, except for Crane. And if this card is special summoned, you draw a card. If you do, show it, then you can special summon it if it's a Flower Cardian monster. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. At the end of the battle phase of this card battled, you draw 1 card. So it's got 2000 attack for a level 1 monster, which is very nice. And also goes off very well with Pine being able to special summon it. It's the only other level 1 in the deck, so you have to rely on that with this card. And more draw power as well as attack power. 2000k can hit over a lot of things, so you'll be able to draw multiple ways with that as well. And the special summon effect helps also. And I also run 3 Flower Cardian Willow. This is one of the level 11 Flower Cardian monsters, and while you control level 10 or lower, you can special summon it from your hand. Then it has the effect, like most of the Flower Cardian cards, you can't special for the rest of the turn except for Flower Cardian monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 Flower Cardian in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then draw 1 card. So helps with graveyard consistency. There are many important Flower Cardians that you want to get back into the deck, like say you go through all your Pines, you want to make sure you have a method to get them back into the deck to reuse, and this card helps a lot with that. I also run 2 Flower Cardian Polonia. You need a level 11 or lower Flower Cardian monster to special summon this card. And its other effect is when it's targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack and end the battle phase, then draw 1 card. So, like all of the Flower Cardian monsters that have the summon effect, Willow, it has only 100 attack. So being able, like that, your opponent's going to want to go for this card a lot of the times. But if you have another 100, most of the time they're going to go for that one. So you want to make sure you have this and some of the other bigger ones on the field when you're doing your combo plays. That way you can get draw power off with this if need to. And I also run 2 Zebra Grass. If you control level 7 or lower with this one, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then if this card is normal or special summon, you can reveal any number of Flower Cardian monsters in your hand, shuffle them into the deck, then draw the same number of cards. So you can replenish your hand with this one using the cards you have in your hand, and the majority of the deck is Flower Cardian, so you're always going to be able to make use of this card. Also, I only have 2 Zebra Grass and 2 Polonia at the moment. Otherwise, I would bump them up to 3 because they're the easiest ones out of the deck, including Willow to special summon. So I'll show you what I take out for them if I were to add the third ones in. I also run 3 Flower Cardian Polonia with Phoenix. Cannot be normal summoned or set. First, you must be special summoned by tributing 1 level 12 Flower Cardian monster, except for Polonia. If it's special summoned, you draw 1 card. If you do show it, then you can special summon it. If it's a Flower Cardian monster, otherwise send it to the graveyard. And once per turn, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can draw a card. So another draw effect. The fact that it's difficult to special summon this card because you have to specifically tribute summon, I'd probably down it down to 2 and put in the proper Flower Cardian Polonia, running that at 3 since it's much easier to special summon, and you basically need this one in the deck to get out this one, which means that it'd make much more sense to have bigger numbers of the other one. I also run 3 Willow with Calligrapher. Cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from the hand by tributing a level 11 Flower Cardian monster, except for Flower Cardian Willow. And if it's special summoned, you draw 1 card, and if you do, you reveal and special summon just like the other Cardian effects. And when this card is used as synchro material, you can treat it and all other synchro material as level 2 monsters. So he will help you get out your big one, Light Shower, or your new one, Boardfly, because they're level 6 and level 8 which means the numbers will add up evenly for the synchro summons. He's very vital in the deck because he's one of your tuners, so you got to run 3 of him just to make sure that you go for your synchro plays, because those are the main offense of your deck. I also run 2 Zebra Graphs with Moon. Same effect. You have to tribute a level 8 monster to get this one out, and he has the same draw and special summon effect for Cloudians. Not Cloudians, Cardians. I might have said that before in the deck as well, but Cardians, not Cloudians. And once per turn, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw 1 card. So also remember that the big ones with these effects have the 2000 attack, which means they're more of a beater to get over, and more of your offense as well with more draw power. And I also run 3 of the new Maple with Deer. Now, the new ones from Invasion Vengeance are really good. They have easy special summon effects. Deer's effect cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing a Flower Cardian except for Maple with Deer. And if this card is special summoned, draw 1 card. And then if it's a Flower Cardian monster, you can destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. So what this deck needed and it received is pop power. With Deer, you can pop a spell or trap. It's very good. It's an easy special summon. It's got 1000 attack and defense, so you're mostly going to use it for the pop ability and for synchro summoning, but having it 3 helps because it's your pop power, like I said. I also run 3 Clover with Boar. Has the same effect as Deer. You tribute another Cardian to special summon it, and then you draw 1 card, reveal, and then special. And if you reveal 1, you can destroy 1. It doesn't have the special effect, my mistake. I talked too fast. It has the monster destruction effect. So he is the monster destroying card of the deck. So any big monsters that your 3K synchro is not going to be able to get over, you rely on Boar to get over it. Deer will pop your spell and traps, and Boar will destroy their monsters. So really works good in that combination. And lastly, of the new ones, I run 3 Peony with Butterfly. Basically, you special summon it from your hand by tributing a monster that's a Flower Cardian other than it. And if this card is special summon, you draw 1 card. And if you do, show it. Then if it's a Flower Cardian monster, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, of your opponent's deck, then place them all in the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. When this card is used as synchro material, you can treat all other synchro monsters as level 2. So it's another tuner in the deck, and the fact that you can adjust your opponent's deck with this card really helps, because if there's that 1 key card they need, if you know what their play style is going to be, you can really mess up their play there by either setting it on the bottom or giving them something that they don't need on the top of their deck. 3s for all the new ones is definitely needed. And I also run, for spells now, 3 Flower Gathering. Special summon 4 Flower Cardian monsters with 100 attack and different names from your deck in attack position, but they have their effects negated. Also, they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. You can only activate 1 per turn. You cannot normal or special for the rest of the turn except for Flower Cardian monsters. So if you make use of this with a tuner monster you already have on the field to bring out your 4, or you can summon the 4 and then get out your tuner, you can go for your level 6 synchro play and your level 8 synchro play with basically 2 cards. Very easy to manipulate this. Yes, they have their effects negated, but the tuner turns them into level 2, so you don't have to worry about that. And I also run 2 Flower Stacking. This is basically the card that replaced Card Advance in the deck. With this, you choose 3 Flower Cardian monsters with different names from your deck, place them on the top of your deck in any order, and during your main phase, up to turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Flower Cardian monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use the effect once per turn. So the fact that you can't draw with Rain Shower, Light Shower, means that this card being able to use the graveyard as your second hand is really good, and the fact that you can stack the deck with needed Flower Cardian monsters you need for the draw effects of your monsters helps as well, so you'll get guaranteed monster pop and draw effects. And I also run 2 Super Koi Koi. You excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and special summon as many Flower Cardian monsters among them as possible, ignoring their summoning conditions, but their levels become 2 and they have their effects negated, and banish the remaining cards face down. And if you do, lose 1,000 for each. You can banish this card from your graveyard and tribute 1 monster to special summon a Flower Cardian monster from your hand, ignoring its special summoning conditions. So it's more rush with this card. Flower stacking set up your deck. Koi Koi lets you summon those cards with great use. So if you get them out with this card, use Koi Koi, you'll guarantee to get what you need and have material for your synchro summons. And another graveyard effect for extra summoning can't hurt either. And to finish up, I also run 3 Allure of Darkness. All the Flower Cardian monsters are dark, so very easy. It's basically impossible not to get off Allure of Darkness successful with this deck. You would have to open up basically this and then draw 2 Flower Stacking to, go wrong with this deck, and even then, you're stretching it there. and also 1 Reinforcements of the Army to finish off the main deck. They're all warrior monsters, and if you open up with this, you can grab your pine you need for your summons. And then for synchros, I would run 3 Light Shower, but I still only have 1. I know it's a cheap card, but just haven't gotten around to getting more of them. If your opponent cannot target Flower Cardian monsters for card effects. Also, those monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects, and during your opponent's draw phase, when they draw, they lose 1500 attack. You basically keep this effect by skipping your own draw phase, otherwise you have this card's effect negated until the next standby phase. So you stop your opponent's draw power. If you keep it in defense 3k, even Blue Eyes have tough time getting over it with attack style, so you have that to work with as your shield. Burn them down instead of attack. And I also run 3 Flower Cardian Boardfly. He's the level 6 new one of the deck. Basically, if the Flower Cardian monster you control attacks a defense monster and inflict piercing to your opponent, and once per turn you can target. You can banish 1 Flower Cardian in your graveyard until the end of your opponent's next turn. Your opponent cannot activate effects of cards in the graveyard. Also, they cannot special summon monsters from the graveyard. So being able to limit special summoning takes a big chunk of their plays out of the way. The only thing I have to regret about this card, it's only 2000 attack and 2000 defense. Yes, it is easier to get out than Light Shower since it's 1 less card to use as a synchro summon, but the fact that it stops graveyard plays is your best thing. It's basically a bigger Abyss Dweller, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The deck has been a lot of fun to me. Hope, the winner of my contest is glad to see what I've changed with the deck, and I hope they also enjoy the deck as a whole. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun deck. And yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.